You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
It is Thursday, March the 13th of 2025. The time is 9:07. Another beautiful start here in downtown Wausau. At our 98.9 WXCO studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street. Right now, the sun is shining. A few clouds out there as well. Fair conditions, even freezing 32 degrees. It seems like we've been around this temperature all week long, hasn't it? I mean, we've been sort of, I think it's not the first day we've had a 32-degree temperature. Yeah,
between it's cold and warm.
But it's been a very nice start to every morning here this week. I think maybe tomorrow that will change, according to Brittany. But
that's true. The sun has been out almost every day this week in the morning.
It has been, yep, very pleasant to come into work and to get things underway. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a very warm day as well, way above normal today. And we'll give you more details on the weather as we continue. But 32 degrees the temperature. Glad you could be with us for hour number 2 of the Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Well, coming up a little bit later on this hour, we will be talking a bit about a teacher shortage, especially substitute teachers, because I've noticed as I've driven around, especially where I live in the DC Upper School District, and when you go by some of the schools, they have banners up. I drive past Weston School every day when I come into work, and they talk about some of the positions that are open within the district, and often it says substitute teachers. And there is a group that is involved in training for teachers, especially substitute teachers. It's called Kelly Education. And they give some training, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time to get trained to become a substitute teacher. And we are going to talk to Dr. Stephanie Wall about eligibility requirements, about registration, about training. If somebody's got some life skills that can be transferred into the classroom, they would help in terms of giving you some information on how that could possibly happen. So we are going to discuss that coming up at the bottom of the hour at 9:34 this morning here on the program. And
teachers are a very important role.
And that's something that, and again, it's like, and it's not just the full-timers as well, because often there are a need for substitute teachers and maybe somebody that has different backgrounds and different job skills. So we're going to learn a little bit about that coming up at 9:34 this morning.
That's good.
Coming up then at the end of the show at 9:51, we'll have our daily history lesson, talk about some of the famous events that have occurred on this date in history. Also talk a bit about some of the famous folks celebrating birthdays, and also have our look at some of the special events that are being acknowledged today. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we will wrap things up with our number for the day quiz. And the person that takes the number for the day quiz is the one, the only, Ian Welsh. And Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Chad.
Actually, because Thursdays we talked to Pat Kreitlow in the first segment of the show, so we have a very brief hello to you. We didn't really have a chance to go into anything deeply.
Was a busy first hour.
It was a busy first hour, and but it's good to have you here. Anything going on with you that's interesting? Anything keeping you busy these days? You still waiting to hear about the casting for the show that you tried out for? What, Anastasia, right?
As I mentioned a couple of days ago, the waiting a period after the audition is the hardest part, because it's not just Sundays when they actually have the callbacks for certain actors they like to come back, and I did not receive a callback, so I won't be actually hearing anything until a Tuesday. So I got a little bit of a longer wait. I've been trying to pass the time, just keep my mind occupied these last few days. I get outside, read my book, just do fun things to keep my focus off the anxiety of the cast.
How much competition is there? Because you were talking before the auditions that there are a lot of folks that had signed up to audition. Were there a lot of people there?
There were two options for the auditions. You could either sign up to do an in-person audition, or if you weren't able to do that, you could also send in a video audition to the director as well. And I don't know how many video auditions were sent in, but the number of people who signed up for the in-person auditions, last time I checked a couple of days ago, I did an official count after the auditions were over. It was 65 people.
Oh, wow.
And
how many people are in the cast, roughly?
Well, I was talking to Brenton a weeks ago before the auditions happened, and he told me that he was looking for a cast of about 35 to 40 people. So I think he has plenty to choose from. I don't know, he might make the cast a little bigger, which I'd be okay with that. I mean, it is a very heavy ensemble-based show. So I think if you wanted to, have a bigger cast, I think he is perfectly capable of doing that. And I know that he and his production team have a lot of difficult choices to make, because just based on the audition I was at, there is a lot of talent, especially in the Wausau area, because a lot of people on the signups I know from previous shows, and they are incredibly talented. And there's also a lot of people I did not know, which is a good thing, because it's nice to get a lot of unfamiliar people introduced to theater and showcase their talents and give them the opportunity to grow and expand their skills. So I'll break a leg to all those auditions, and good luck on the callbacks on Sunday. And then in about 4 days, I think we'll be very intrigued by the final casting results.
Well, I got to tell you, that is just incredibly impressive that you have so many people that want to be part of it. I mean, that to have that many people want to audition and to put themselves out there and be part of this, it is just fantastic. We talk about it so often that we're very fortunate to have the number of choices, whether you're somebody who wants to be a performer, somebody who wants to be backstage, somebody just wants to be in the audience. So many wonderful organizations and also wonderful programs. And in fact, as we were talking about this, and I don't know if he's out there tuned in or maybe not, but Marshall Deloney, right? And last week when I was in Madison, late last week, I was covering because I was down there for the show on Friday morning. I'd left after the show on Thursday. He had sent me a note that they have their musical coming up, All Shook Up, from April. And he was asking about whether or not you get some of the performers on this program. And I said, oh, absolutely. I'll get back to you on Monday. And I just realized I haven't got back to him yet. Fortunately, the show isn't until mid-April. So as soon as the show gets done today, I will be getting back to him.
Let's have some cast members from All Shook Up on the show.
Yep, so we're going to do that. So if Marshall's out there, I apologize. I let that slip right through my fingertips here. It's been a busy week so far. But I'll definitely get right on that. Also, of course, coming up at the end of the show, I said it.
Yes.
You will be doing the number for the day quiz. you already have a passing week. It's nice.
2 out of 3.
It's nice when you don't have to pressure yourself here late in the week. You already know you have a passing week, but now you're just trying to add. Well, you've got the cake. The way I look at it,
a successful week.
But you have the cake. The cake is a passing week.
Mm-hmm.
The icing on the cake then is having a winning week and a record week.
That's right.
So we're going to try to add a little icing today, and then we're going to add a lot more icing tomorrow if you get today right. So a lot of icing to be had today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you're 2-1 so far, 67%.
That's pretty good.
Way above the 33% threshold.
What is the topic for today's
The
number by
topic
chance?
for today, it's actually kind of a weird one. It's going to be a weird one when you find out the exact number and what it means.
Mm-hmm.
But the topic is pencils. Or a pencil. You can look at it either way. A pencil. The topic is a pencil. So we're going to go a little different today.
That should be an interesting number.
It's not something that's really deep, but it's just I found it interesting. So we are going to do that coming up at the end of the show. Also, last night it was a fun night because I was at the Wausau West Hockey Banquet.
Yeah,
and I
how
always
did it go?
It went really well. It's so much fun. You got all the team members and coaches and the parents and the trophies. And when you have a successful year, you have the trophies. They had a sectional championship trophy, and it's always fun because you have the tables set up because there's you can grab something to eat and you sit down. And then you have the main table, and they always have the seniors sitting at the main table. It's like the dais. And you honor the seniors especially because they just finished up their career. But they were wonderful young men, wonderful folks involved with the program generally, great coach and a great coaching staff. And it was really nice. They said some nice things about me, and it made me embarrassed. So that was nice. But generally, it was such a fun year to make it to the state tournament. It's so hard to get that far. Obviously, you want to win it all, but in the end, you get to the state tournament. That is just an incredible accomplishment. And the Warriors did that for the first time in 6 years. And then last night to be able to be part of that celebration was outstanding. And then there's another one tonight, because the girls hockey team, the Central Wisconsin Storm, have their event tonight, and I'm looking forward to going to that one as well. So it's like, it's like with Hollywood, it's like award season. You go to the different awards events, but it was so much fun last night. I really was appreciative of what Wausau West hockey did, and looking forward to seeing the Storm tonight and Wausau West boys basketball on Sunday. So it's like a wonderful time. Time is 9:18. Is 9:18 a wonderful time? Is that a good time?
I say in the morning, I think that's a pretty good time.
It is a good time. So we're going to take a time out. Come right back. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
It's too close to come when this heat has got right out of hand. It's a cruel summer.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
James,
Melissa,
Chad.
and Seth inviting you to come work with us. Civic Media is looking for a full-time sales professional to work with existing and new broadcast and digital media clients.
we're a fast-growing company that offers competitive wages, benefits, a relaxed working environment that focuses on quality of life and includes a team of support to reach our shared goals.
Join us in continuing what we have done for 80 years. Be a part of the community, put into the community, celebrate community.
Find out more by contacting Chuck Gennaro at 715-935-8030 or email chuck.gennaro@civicmedia.us. All inquiries are confidential. Civic Media Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer, and we look forward to you joining us.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones. Check 511wi.gov or download the app for road work or closures on your route. Know before you go with 511 Wisconsin, sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Mentioned earlier this week the story of the Palestinian activist who was detained by ICE agents over his role in student protests at Columbia University's campus against Israel's war in Gaza last year. Mahmoud Khalil. And very concerning because he should not have been arrested. It is a personal vendetta and a reach beyond the law by Donald Trump, his ICE agency, and others. And a little more has come out about this story because the wife of this man has spoken out. The wife of Mahmoud Khalil was interviewed yesterday and not given her name because she's worried. And she, I think, got reason to worry, but did not give her name, said she was wrong to dismiss her earlier concerns about becoming a target for immigration agents. And people think, oh, no, they're not going to come after us. We got our papers. We got everything that we need. Khalil and his wife, who through her attorney said she prefers media outlets not use her name, were returning to their university-owned apartment on Saturday night when Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents detained him without a warrant, threatening to revoke his green card. Again, no warrant, and he had a green card. Then ICE agents threatened to arrest his wife, a U.S. citizen, if she did not cooperate by leaving Khalil behind and heading up to their apartment. His wife had an interview with Reuters yesterday. His wife is 8 months pregnant. She said to Reuters that she had dismissed Khalil's concerns about ICE agents potentially confronting him 2 days before they showed up at the couple's apartment building. She told the news agency, "I didn't take him seriously. Clearly, I was naive." His wife, who is due to give birth in late April, says she hopes Khalil will be released ahead of their child's birth. She told Reuters, "I think it would be very devastating for me and for him to meet his child behind a glass screen, his first child." Khalil has been transported to a Louisiana ICE detention facility. He is currently not facing criminal charges, but during a court hearing yesterday for their emergency petition to return Khalil to New York City, where the case over his arrest validity is pending, Ramzi Qassem, one of his attorneys, described what happened to his client as unacceptable. Khalil's lawyers also asked the judge to enable them to communicate with him. "We literally have not been able to confer with our client once since he was taken off the streets of New York City," Qassem said. The judge allowed one privileged call on Wednesday between Khalil and his attorneys and another one on Thursday today. Earlier this week, the judge blocked the Trump administration's efforts to deport Khalil until his habeas corpus petition is reviewed. In a separate statement read by an attorney outside the court, his wife decried the Trump administration's treatment of her husband. "My husband was kidnapped from our home, and it's shameful that the United States government continues to hold him because he stood for the rights and lives of his people." Trump on Monday falsely lied again as he labeled Khalil a radical foreign pro-Hamas student, and then called his detention the first arrest of many to come. You can agree or you can disagree with Khalil's point of view when it came to the Palestinians and the Israelis and this conflict. But if you disagree, if Donald Trump and his administration disagree, you can't throw out the rules in order to arrest and try to deport this man. Because if it's him, who's going to be next? Trump said, the first arrest of many to come. If Donald Trump can arrest you because he doesn't like what you say, not because you are illegally here, not because you don't have citizenship, not because of any other reason, but because Donald Trump doesn't like what you say, anybody is in danger.
That's not a democracy. That's a monarchy.
That is totalitarianism.
Exactly.
Where did the First Amendment go? We hear these far-right folks, they want to get Mel Gibson his guns back because of the Second Amendment. What about the First Amendment? Again, you can agree. I don't agree with Khalil all the way in terms of what he said and did, but he has every right to do it. Battle of the ideas. And again, what Donald Trump is threatening to do is so far out of bounds. So again, just wanted to update this story because, doggone it, it could spread. It could spread. And don't be naive about it. The time is 9:28. We're going to talk about Wisconsin's teacher shortage and Wisconsin's shortage of substitute teachers. We're going to do that coming up after an information update. Along with Ian Welsh, I'm Chad Holmes. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Out of the grid. When they ask me, what are you looking at? I always answer, nothing much, not much. I think they know that I'm looking at them. I think they think I must be out of touch, but I'm only in the outskirts and in the fringes, on the edge and off the avenue. And if you want me, you can find me left of. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful, a miracle. Oh, it was beautiful, magical, and all the birds in the trees, well, they be singing so happily. Oh, joyful.
And welcome back, Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. Right now, we're going to talk about something that I mentioned earlier, that sometimes when I'm coming into work, and I live in the D.C. Everett School District, you'll go by some of the schools, and you'll see signs that are asking for some workers, the job openings, and one of which often is substitute teachers. And generally, a lot of districts around the state looking not just for substitute teachers, but teachers as a whole. And to talk a little bit about this issue and about what can be done, we are joined by Dr. Stephanie Wall, who is the Director of Learning at Kelly Education. And Dr. Wall, first of all, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the issue itself. Generally about teachers and an issue we've heard about teacher shortage, and then also specifically about the aspect of that, substitute teachers. How big of an issue are both of those right now?
Yeah, having teachers in classrooms is really important, right? And we've definitely seen an increase in teacher vacancies over the last few years. There's some indication that that's settling down a bit, but with our students having, a lot of learning loss that's occurred over the last few years, any day missed is really an important day. And so the focus on having really high quality substitute teachers in the classroom when teachers are out is now more important than ever before. And the role of the substitute teacher has changed quite a bit. We might all remember being young and, the teacher was out and they'd roll in that video or that TV on the wheelie cart and everyone thought it's going to be a great day. And, students today, they just don't have the time for that kind of experience. We really need them to be learning and taking advantage of the school day, whether the teacher's out for one day because they're ill or attending a wedding or out for a few weeks. So that's really where we're focused on, is making sure that we have the best quality person, most prepared person to keep learning going when teachers need to be out.
The idea of becoming a substitute teacher, who does that? Because obviously I would think the number, if you wanted to be a teacher, you'd want to be a full-time teacher. Who goes into substitute teaching? Who do you work with your organization?
That's such a great question. We really see folks from a lot of different walks of life, whether you're maybe entering into the workforce or maybe you're retired and maybe you were a teacher and you want to come back, but maybe not with as many responsibilities and obligations. So really anyone that cares about students, cares about learning, has the potential to be an outstanding substitute teacher. The real impact from the person doing the work, I think, is the flexibility that substitute teaching can offer. There aren't many well-paying positions where you can kind of pick and choose the days that you work, how often you work, or the amount of flexibility with your work. And so when you pair that flexibility with the good compensation that we are seeing in your state for substitutes alongside of that, impact for students, it's really a great opportunity for folks that are looking for a more flexible work kind of situation.
I imagine for some folks, they may think, well, it may be something I'm interested in, but I didn't take education courses in college. I don't have education experience. I have different kinds of experiences within my professional career or during my work life. What do you tell those folks? What do you need to have some sort of educational background? Do you need to have taken courses in the past, or are you able to take your life experiences and use that and take the next step in becoming a substitute teacher?
Yeah, I think there's so much value in folks coming into substitute teaching that have those different experiences. And I will say that your state has done an excellent job in making sure that those individuals, maybe they don't have any teaching experience or education experience, they are required to take additional training. So everyone in the state must have at least an AA degree to be a substitute teacher. And if you haven't done those kind of teacher preparation courses, you're required to take an online training. And so we are now one of the approved providers to deliver that online training. But it really does make sure that whomever is in the classroom, whether they were coming from business or, another field, they know what it means to be a substitute teacher, what the requirements are, the expectations, and how best to support students.
That you mentioned an AA certificate. Is that correct?
Yes.
What
so
is that?
The associate's degree, kind of that the first 2 years of college are really what the state is looking for at the entry level for substitute teachers.
I mentioned that, and again, we are talking to Dr. Stephanie Wall, Director of Learning for Kelly Education, and I guess I should ask, Kelly Education. What is Kelly Education? What do you do in terms of this issue and in terms of training substitute teachers?
Yeah, so we are the leading provider of substitute teachers really across the nation. So we staff lots and lots of schools and support students across the country, making sure that learning is continuing when teachers are out. In your state specifically, we also operate teachers on call. So that may be a name that folks are familiar with here, but it's all connected to that Kelly Education brand and that delivery of high quality substitute teachers.
I saw in my notes that you're the only approved vendor in Wisconsin in terms of whose core business is providing education workforce talent. How did you get connected with the state? What is that relationship like? And what does that say about your organization?
Yeah, I think that's so important because, there are some other providers on there, but we're the ones that really have substitute teaching at the core of what we do. And we're offering our training not only to our employees, but to anyone in the state that wants to purchase it and go through it. And I think what that means is that the folks in Wisconsin are going to get training that's really going to help them do a good job being a substitute teacher. It's not theoretical. It's not just kind of based on books and research. This is based on research, but also based on our practical experience delivering substitutes across the country and in the state of Wisconsin. And so I think that's a really important call out. I think it's also important to mention too, that relationship with the Wisconsin Department of Education and Instruction. They had some requirements for their training to make it specific for the state of Wisconsin. And I think offering something that really meets your students' needs. So you get the great benefit of kind of that general best practices in substitute teaching, but you also have that kind of tailored approach to Wisconsin, I think adds a lot of value. So we were able to go through their evaluation process, they have a full rubric that kind of identifies, does your content really help prepare folks? Does it meet our expectations as a state? And we are able to move through that process and become an approved provider, which we're pretty proud and excited about, especially because folks can take our content, whether they choose to work for Kelly Education and a Kelly school district or another partner or another school district.
Let's kind of delve into what folks maybe whose interest is piqued would go through in order to go through this program. What do you provide? What is the process, I guess? Where do you start if you're somebody that says, hey, I'm interested, I want to take that first step? What is the first step?
Yeah, I would check out the Wisconsin DPI website to kind of just get a high-level overview about what are the requirements. But what you'll learn there is that you do need that kind of associate's degree level, and then you'll likely need some kind of training course. And so if you are interested in going down this path, I encourage you to take the training. It's a great way to see if the role is going to be a good fit, if you're going to enjoy that work and knock out one of those requirements right there off the get-go. And so you can access our curriculum from the state's website or also through visiting www.substituteteachingpathways.com. You put our curriculum right in your little shopping cart and you can start today. It takes folks really not too awful long to get through. It is about 8 hours of content, which is what we think is really necessary to feel prepared and ready to do this important work. But you can go as fast or as slow as you like. It's all online for our content. So you have that flexibility, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily easy, right? Because we really want you to understand what it takes. So I think our content is really very engaging. You're not going to fall asleep when you're going through it. And so lots of real life examples, anecdotes, and relevant content for this kind of post-COVID world that we're all living in. We know schools have evolved a little bit. Students have evolved a little bit. And I think one of the biggest differentiators for us is that as an organization and through our content, we are preparing people for that reality, not for a reality of 20 or 30 years ago of substitute teaching.
I know that people always wonder as well in terms of a training program in order to become eligible to become a substitute teacher is the cost factor. What is the cost factor? Is it something that would cost a lot of money for somebody to be trained and then be able to take that step to actually get into the classroom?
Yes, so there are some costs associated in the state of Wisconsin for becoming a substitute. And so you do have some different options there. Regional offices offer like an in-person option, which sometimes is a little bit more expensive, but the online options are about $39.99. And so we're offering our solution right now at the introductory price of $39.99. So that's the investment that you're making and the time it takes to go through the content to get started.
When you look at the folks that have come through your program, is there anything that is common to them? Do you see people from certain aspects of life? Do you see certain age groups? Is there any patterns to folks that decide that, hey, they want to get into substitute teaching?
We really do see folks from all walks of life. And, we have the benefit of seeing those folks come and work for us in some cases. And what I can tell you is that no matter where people are coming from, when they're going through our training, they're feeling more confident and their performance has been measurably better, which I think is really powerful, because my belief is that if you feel good doing the work that you're doing and you're effective at it, you're going to keep doing it and stay engaged. And so I think that just really speaks to kind of solving that teacher vacancy problem at a very high level, no matter where you're coming from. So
when you have an opportunity to be in a classroom with kids, I can't imagine there'd be much better. I mean, I'm fortunate to work with some kids in my work, and it just seems like a wonderful opportunity to maybe just get your foot in the water a little bit, to find out a little bit more. Because as I said, I do see here in this part of the state sometimes announcements looking for substitute teachers, and I think it would be a great opportunity to maybe find out exactly what whether or not you have what it takes. I mean, this is a great way to start, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And you can try, like you're indicating here, you could try different things as a substitute, right? Like you're not committing to third grade for the rest of the school year. You could try working in a third grade classroom or kindergarten classroom or high school and get kind of a sense of where you find the most joy and the most impact. So that's one of my favorite pieces of that flexibility that doesn't always get called out, but I think there's a lot of value in that variety and dipping your toe in the water, as you said.
And finally, again, for folks who want to get more information about Kelly Education or anything else that we've been talking about here, where should they go?
www.substituteteachingpathways.com.
Absolutely. And we will put that link on our show notes as part of our podcast so people can link to that and find out more information there. So, again, very, very interesting. Again, thank you, Dr. Stephanie Wall, Director of Learning at Kelly Education, for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick time out and then come back and have our final segment of the morning, our daily history lesson, including our number for the day quiz with Ian Welsh. So that's straight ahead. The time is 9:48. Again, a beautiful start here weather-wise in north central Wisconsin. Temperature up into the middle 30s. Plenty of sunshine. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
There was not another soul in sight. Only you, only you. So we walked alone. Though I knew that there was something wrong. And a feeling that feels so strong about you. Then you gazed up at me, and the answer was plain to see. 'Cause I saw the light in your eyes, in your eyes. Though we had our flame.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
I used to be a renegade. I used to fool around, but I couldn't take punishment and had to settle down. Now I'm playing it real straight, and yes, I cut my hair. You might think I'm crazy, but I don't even care, 'cause I can tell what's going on. It's hip to be square. It's hip to be square. I like my bands in business suits.
And welcome back, Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO. And on the Civic Media app, it is the 13th day of March of 2025, day number 72 of this year. 293 days remaining in this year of 2025. And a number of famous events have occurred on this date in history. In 1639, Harvard College was named for clergyman John Harvard. On this date in 1961, Mattel introduced the Ken doll. On this date in 1987, Bryan Adams' Heat of the Night became the first commercially released cassette single in the United States. On this date in 2002, not one of the high points of entertainment on television in our lifetimes. On Fox's Celebrity Boxing, Tanya Harding beat Paula Jones, Danny Bonaducci whipped Barry Williams, and Todd Bridges defeated Vanilla Ice. On this date in 2012, Encyclopedia Britannica announced it would no longer publish printed versions of its encyclopedia. On this date in 2020, African-American Breonna Taylor was shot and killed by police officers executing a no-knock warrant on her apartment with a battering ram in Louisville, Kentucky. And on this date in 2023, Ruth E. Carter became the first black woman to win 2 Oscars. Carter, who in 2019 became the first black person to win the Oscar for costume design for her work on Marvel's Black Panther, was recognized for the film's sequel, Wakanda Forever. Some famous folks are celebrating their birthdays today. The terrific actor William H. Macy is 75. Actor Dana Delaney is 69. Adam Clayton of YouTube is 65. Of YouTube. No, Adam Clayton of U2 is 65 years old today. Emil Hirsch is 40. George McCabe is 33. Skier Michaela Schifrin, record skier, 30 years old today. And if you out there celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to you from all of us at 98.9 WXCO.
Happy birthday.
Some special events being acknowledged today. It is Donald Duck Day. Donald Duck Day, because March 13th is Donald's happy birthday as seen in the 1949 short film. There's also a Donald Duck birthday on June the 9th because that's when he first appeared on screen in The Wise Little Hen.
Donald Duck is one of my favorite classic Disney characters.
But yeah, March
Him and
13th.
Goofy.
Yeah, March 13th, 1949, the short film Donald's Happy Birthday appeared. Also, today, it is Ken Day, because it's the anniversary of the Ken doll. It is Chicken Noodle Soup Day.
Oh, always a good thing to have when you're sick.
It is Ginger Ale Day.
Also a good thing to have when you're sick.
It is No Smoking Day. It's a good way to avoid getting sick, is to not smoke. It is Registered Dietitian and Nutritionist Day. They help you to avoid getting sick too. It is Canine Veterans Day. So I guess dogs that appeared were members of the armed forces in some way.
Yeah.
You know, because there are some dogs that are part of the armed forces doing some things to help the armed forces. It is Good Samaritan Day as well. So those are the special events going on today. Now it's time for our number for the day quiz. We give Ian Welsh 3 choices each and every weekday, 2 of which are incorrect, 1 of which is right. Based on the math, he should get 1 out of 3 right, 33%. So anything above 33% for the week is a passing grade. Anything below 33% is a failing grade. We would like him to get more right than wrong, a winning week. And then his record week is 4 correct out of 5. And we're still looking for that first 5 out of 5 perfect week. So far this week, he is 2-1, 2 right, 2 wrong, 2 right, 1 wrong.
That's right.
So 67%. He has already clinched a passing grade for this week. And now today, trying to clinch a winning week by securing more right than wrong for the week. Also,
pencils.
And also keep alive his hopes of matching his all-time best week. If he's able to get today right and tomorrow right as well. But pencils is the subject.
All right.
All right. The number for the day. The number of miles the average pencil would last if you drew a continuous line. So if you just drew a continuous line with a pencil.
Okay.
And you see how long the pencil normally is. How many miles would the average pencil last if you drew a continuous line?
Okay, what are my choices?
Your choices are 15 miles, 35 miles, 55 miles.
Okay, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to go on my gut here. I'm going to say 15 miles. I'm going with A. My final answer, I'm going to say 15.
The number of miles the average pencil would last if you drew a continuous line is 35 miles.
Man, I was thinking in the back of my mind I should have gone with the middle answer. That's what I get for overthinking.
Well, you didn't actually overthink it. You went real quickly because we were running a little late here. But you're still 2 for 4. That means tomorrow we'll find out if you can have a winning week. So we'll look forward to that.
Absolutely.
Have a good rest of your Thursday.
You too, Chet. Happy Thursday, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks to Pat Kreitlow and Dr. Stephanie Wall for joining us here today. Tomorrow, Mike Clemens and Paul Micklig will be with us. Stick around. Coming up next, it's Matt and Air on Air. Have a great rest of your Thursday and keep it right here on 98.9 WXCO.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.